Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Panthers Forecast. We got the win. We're in the playoffs. The Falcons were able to beat the Saints. It was really close. We had some house calls, with that pass interference that Dave Pettis had. That was a real pass interference, not the one that they called T-Mac on. I didn't really think that was a pass interference. But, they, against the Saints, the when they were about to score and take the lead potentially, and that probably would have ruined us. They called pass interference, and then also that Kirk Cousins fumble that they ruled to be a incomplete pass, which was also huge. So yeah, we got Atlanta did their thing. They got the win, and right now the Rams are beating the Arizona Cardinals. I think it's like 37-20. So that game's already over with like 2 minutes left. So with the Rams winning, that means that we are going to be playing the Rams. The Rams are going to come back to Charlotte again. And I'm just going to do just basically a quick talk. The last time we played them, it was 28-31. That was when Bryce had those two big touchdowns on fourth down, one to T Mac and then one to Jalen Coker. And then just looking at it, the Rams had three turnovers. Just remember that game. I don't think Chuba really. I think Chuba was our leading back in that game, and I'm trying not to get copyrighted again. I guess one of my videos after the game that the Panthers lost, there was a video playing, and I got copyright strike, so I'm trying not to get struck down again. But let me see if I can go. Let's see if we can get to the box scores. Good, good. And let's look at our running game. In that game, yeah, I thought. Well, that was one of the games I thought that we were pretty balanced. Rico Dado had 18 for 58, and then Chuba had 17 for 83. And oh shoot, T Mac only had that one catch on fourth down. So looking back at it, if we I guess you can say are able to run the ball and get our other receivers into the game. We're going to need a bit more showing out of for Excel and then Jimmy Horn, and then also we're going to need all our receivers in this next game. The Rams are going to be more prepared. They're going to they're potentially a team that could also too, like us, make a run deep, and they're a very talented team. But that's just all I wanted to talk about today. I'm glad that we made it to the playoffs. First time since 2017, but it's also the first time we won our division since 2015, the last time we went to the Super Bowl. I just wanted to say real quick, I think we can make a run potentially. We can compete with any of the teams that are in the NFC. I just think it just comes down to consistency. As long as we're consistent, and then I think also too, we're not supposed to be here in the playoffs. If we play with that attitude of we're not supposed to be here, let's just do whatever. How we beat the Rams the last time with going for it on fourth down and hitting Coker and hitting T Mac, that was probably the recipe that we may want to use going forward. That, hey, we're not supposed to be here. What do we got to lose? Let's go for it on fourth down. Let's run heavy with Chuba. Let's even get let's run heavy with Chuba and Rico, and then also let's get Jimmy Horn in there, and let's also try to get XL and Coker because we're gonna need everybody. And then I also want to end by saying this. So I'm watching tonight's game against Pittsburgh and the Ravens. If Pittsburgh loses, honestly, I do think that we should possibly give out just throw an olive branch out to Adam Thielen. I wouldn't mind Adam Thielen coming back to the Panthers. We would definitely need another wide receiver to. I think that would help give us a boost. And then this would be Adam Thielen's last playoff run. And I know some Panthers fans are like, no, he left, he wanted to leave, but it's like I don't really care. Just I mean, he did his thing. The first 2 years that he was with the Panthers, and he put a lot into it. And I mean, I don't care about him wanting to go back to Minnesota. And, I didn't see that as a slap in the face, wanted to go back there and possibly retire the Vikings. And then when things didn't go out his way, he eventually was picked up on waivers by the Steelers. But I do think that that's something that the Panthers should consider if Pittsburgh is to lose tonight. And I know Thielen may want to either be released or maybe, I think they can still release him and he can still get a chance to maybe go on a different roster. But I, if that's possible, I do think that's something that the Panthers should hopefully look at. I mean, I know it may not happen, but I just figured it'd be a nice thought to see Thielen. But, you know, we made it to the playoffs. This is something that I've been saying on this channel since the beginning that we were going to probably win the division, but I was hoping that we win it outright, and we had our chance to last week. Well, not what I say last week. Yesterday against the Buccaneers, and we came up short. But nonetheless, we still won the division, and I'm just glad. And like I said, I think great things are coming in the near years. I think next year, if we hit the draft right, if we're smart in free agency, we'll probably be a 11 or 12 win team. And I'm going to close it out, but I'll just say this one last thing: the Falcons and the Saints, there's going to be competition next year. And with the Saints losing, and also watch my mock draft. I did a mock draft yesterday that came out today, but in that mock draft, the simulation had the Saints taking Jordan Tyson, who's going to be a good receiver. He's going to be dangerous, and you got to worry about that with Olave. And if the Saints have a good draft, they're going to be hard. I mean, Taylor Slog was looking really good. He was looking really good in that game. He was. I mean, there's even some people chattering and talking that he might even win Rookie of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year. Even though I think T Mac should probably get it. I don't know if there's any other rookies offensively that's been doing pretty good, but I know there's a lot of campaign for Tyler Slog. And with Atlanta, Atlanta got a good squad right there on their team. They just probably got to work on their offensive line. Their offensive line during this game was pretty bad, but Kirk Cousins was able to, get the win and was able to move around. But you can see where Michael Penix Jr. can have some issues. But yeah, the Saints and the Falcons. I do think that the Panthers can win 11, 12 games maybe next year. We hit the free agency and the draft right, and we resign Rico Dowdle, and we keep some of our key players, and we don't lose so many. But uh, I just think we can't overlook that the fact that the Saints and the Falcons they're going to be right there, and I mean the division was pretty much like 8-8. Like I think there was 3 8 and 9 teams, and then the Saints are like. May have won like 6 or 7 games. So, we're all really not that far from each other. But hey, we're in the playoffs. We'll be playing the Rams probably either Saturday or Sunday, and I'm excited. Win or lose, the season has been a success, and it's great to get these guys some playoff experience and. Everybody with that organization, they put in hard work, and it's great to see that the Panthers, we're finally starting to blossom, and we're going to be probably more than likely, you know, turning the tides and starting to get this thing back on track, and we can potentially be a team that can be constantly in the playoff picture and hopefully win our first Super Bowl. But yeah, this is Panthers forecast. I'm signing out, guys, and I look forward to probably doing a video sometime this week, just probably going over the rematch of the Rams versus the Panthers, and then I'll probably do a mock draft probably every other week or so. I don't want to like do too many of those because it just sort of gets like yeah just a little repetitive, and then also I need to figure out more information on some of these prospects. But Panthers forecast, we made it to the postseason, and y'all take care, man. Peace.